Hello. This is not a character trait lesson for the children. This is a demonstration for mothers in the family and future mothers. I'm hoping even clear down to Mary and Charlotte that this will be something that will be valuable for them. Most grandmothers make quilts for their family. This grandma has made home school for the little ones. Let me give you a little bit of history. In 1989, probably, when most of our children were at school, we still had two children at home, Sam and Luke, 4 and 5, 3 and 5, or something to that effect. And I had looked forward to school starting so I could spend time with these two little boys who had kind of gotten left out with the activities of all the older children. But about 2 weeks before the school started, the school called and said that the state had just made a law that the kindergarten teacher had to be certified. And so I was the only non-working certified school teacher in the area, and I needed to go into the kindergarten to make it legal. And so with a sad heart, I had looked forward so much to spend time with these older children, these two younger children, while the older children were in school. With a sad heart, I went into the kindergarten, and it turned out to be a wonderful experience. Sam was in kindergarten that year, so I was able to be in there with him, and Connie was that age, and her brother Cody were all in that class also. It was a delightful, wonderful class, and the teacher was so wonderful, and I learned so much from her. So I went into that school that year, and then they hired a regular kindergarten teacher that was certified for the next year. And then the school district called and asked if I would start a preschool for the school district, in the school district for Pahranagat Valley. And that was a good time for us because I would be able to be home when the children were home, and it was our older children were leaving home, and the extra money would be wonderful to be able to help out a little bit. And so I consented, and I started a preschool in Pahranagat Valley. And in those days, there were no materials. I had to just kind of build it from scratch. But it was a delight, and it was wonderful, and I did it for many years, 18 years exactly, actually. But now my older children were marrying and having children of their own. And one day I received a phone call from our daughter, and she was frustrated because she had this active little boy, and she couldn't keep him busy. And being involved in preschool, I thought, oh, I'll just make a home preschool for her to work with this little boy and spend time with him, and it will be something to keep him busy. So I made a portable preschool for this family. And then I realized, oh, we have a second family who have children that same age. And so I made two preschools. And then these preschools were passed around to Sri Shar, I don't remember where they were. Well, fast forward 25 years later, and Julia is now married with children of her own, and she's wondering where those preschool kits were. I found a little bit of some, but not all of it. So having the time and the energy, I have built a preschool for the family. And actually, I've built two. They're just almost identical, so that you mothers can use them and bless the lives of your family with these little preschools. They are, the lessons are based on the ABCs. There's a file for A, there's a file for B, there's a file for C, and so on. But the purpose of them, these lessons, are not for your children to learn the ABCs. That will just happen. The purpose of these lessons are for you to bond together with your family, for your children to bond together with each other, and for the children to learn to sit and to listen and to obey and to follow in directions, and just the basics of learning. It's kind of like preparing the soil so the children will be able to learn more important things in their lives. I promise it will bless your life if you will take the time to do it and use it. But I don't think you use it unless you really understand what it is. So let me help you out. Do you see the tubs here? There are 3 tubs. 2 of the tubs contain files for each one of the letters of the alphabets. The 3rd tub is an activity file, an activity box. This box contains a little container with glue and tape and scissors and crayons, anything very basic that you will use throughout the lessons. And anytime a lesson calls for something that's too big to put in the file, it's in the activity box. For example, on rain day, it will say, get buckets of water and paintbrushes and go outside and paint. Or I don't remember if it was rain day, our day, I don't remember what day it was, but there's brushes. You'll go to the activity box and you'll find the brushes, and they'll be all there for you. On rain day, you're going to be playing a game called Under the Umbrella. There's an umbrella in the activity box. It'll tell you to go to the activity box. On S day, it'll tell you there's a fun lesson about concept soup. This is really a good one for learning shapes and to listening and following directions. And you'll have to go to the activity box to find concept soup. There's 2 or 3 times you're going to be needing to use Q-tips. On Ocean Day, you'll be doing fun math things with seashells. And you will go to the activity box to find all of these things. Oh, let me show you one more. I've just finished the files, and we have there are holidays files. There's a holiday file for Valentine's, for Halloween, for Thanksgiving, and for Christmas. And I have we're playing a fun game called Funny Funny Turkey. And I had one of these, and since I've made 2 files, I went to eBay to find a second little beanie baby. And do you know what? There was a beanie baby just like this, a turkey beanie baby just identical, that was selling for $6,600 and so much money, because they've quit making them. So there's 2 or 3 things in these kits that are really valuable. There was one book, actually there were 2 or 3 of the books that I went to replace, and there's a couple I couldn't. And there was one that was worth, again, thousands, hundreds of dollars. So anyhow, the activity box is full of lots of fun things. Pretty much everything that you're going to need for the lesson is right there ready for you. So let me show you a couple of the files. Well, actually, in the activity box, there's going to be a file of music in your lesson plans when it calls for sing a hunting we will go, and there's a little activity with that, a hunting we will go, a hunting we will go. If you don't know how to do it, it's in the music file. What's another one? 5 little ducks go out to play. It's an activity. And if you don't know how to do it, there's a file in the music box, in the activity box, a music file for that. And also that's where you'll find your holiday files, is in the activity box. And then there's an old lady that swallowed a fly. I have forgotten about that, and I have not included that in very many lessons. So as you're doing these lessons, think about that one and use it every once in a while. There was an old lady who swallowed a fly. I don't know why she swallowed a fly. Perhaps she'll cry. Do you know which one I'm talking about? Let me show you about these files. Oh, I wanted to show you in Thanksgiving. In the Thanksgiving file are a service, Christmas service activity chain. And you'll have the children cut out these chains. There's some in red and some in green. There's a set for each. Actually, I've made a set for 4 children. In each of the files, whenever there's a craft, there's enough for 4 children. So you'll make this chain, and you do it in Thanksgiving so that it'll be ready for Christmas, and it's kind of like an advent calendar. The first day of December, they cut one of the chains off of this, and then it says, give someone in your family a hug. And then they go do that service. And then the next day, they cut one of the chains off, and it might say, tell your mother that she loves you, or go make someone's bed, or sing a song. So this is a fun thing to do at Thanksgiving. Okay, let me show you. Let's pull out. I don't know, can you see this? I'm going to hold this up a little bit. Let you look into this. This is the second box of the files. Julia has the first set, and Tiffany has a second set, and this is the second half of Tiffany's set. Let's pull out, how about Our Day will be a fun one. Okay, to see how fat this file is, I think if it were me, maybe a good thing to do would be to go and pull out all of these books out of the files and alphabetize them if you had a shelf. And then when the lesson plan called for color dance, you would go to the ABCs and find color dance in the alphabetized books that you have, and it would be under C. Does that make any sense? Just because the files are so full, and it's because of these wonderful books. This is the best part of these preschool, are the books. Even if you don't want to do the lessons, you ought to pull the books out, file them up, and use them. Let's say you did Our Day on one day, and you read the book of color dance, and it's time for bed, and you're saying, what book would you like to read tonight, child? And he says, she says, they say color dance. And you go and get the book and read it again. Read them over and over again and use them often. But take care of them, because again, we want to use these files for years and years, all the way down. And if something is destroyed in one of these files, one of the samples, if there's a craft, there's always a sample. Most generally speaking, there's a sample in here for any of the crafts that we've done. But if it gets destroyed, make another one and put it back so that the next person that uses it will know how to do the project. Let me show you. Every one of these files are going to have one of these cards. This is the one for R. And it starts from A, B, C, all the way down to Z, and you can just put them up on your wall if you wanted to, and you'd have a consecutive order of the alphabets for the kids to look at. And every one of these files has a lesson plan. And you can, I don't know if you can read it or not, but it tells you about things to teach and different crafts to have, games to play, books to read, and so forth. On this one, I showed the color dance book already. You're going to go puddle jumping. Can you see these fabric puddles? Just spread these puddles all over the floor. And then you tell the kids, okay, put on your boots. We're going to go puddle jumping. And they go and jump over the puddles, jump over puddle after puddle after puddle. And then you tell them to, no, first you have them jump over the puddles. You don't want them to get muddy. And they just jump over one puddle after another puddle after another puddle. And then you tell them to put on their boots, and then they jump in the puddles. Just fun. They love it. Love it, love it. Let's see what else we have in here. The kids can make a little booklet called Walk in the Rain. I'm sorry, the sun is reflecting on all of this. But again, there are enough booklets copied for four children. A couple little crafts. You're going to teach about the water cycle. What a fun thing for the kids to learn. A little rabbit puzzle. And in each one of the files, at the end, they make a craft. And I don't know if you can see that because of the reflection of the sun. But the child will cut out the letter, and then most of them have things to glue on. If it's S, I believe it's sunshines. They'll glue sunshines all over the S, but they cut it out, and then they glue the pictures on. On the R, they'll make it little raindrops. See that? How fun. And on the T, they do make it into a tree. It's really cute. And then at the end of all the files are the masters of everything that is in the file. There's a master, so that these can be replenished. And as long as I'm able, I will replenish these. When you're finished with the file, you will give it back to me. I'll go through and make new copies and everything that you're going to need, fill up the Q-tips and so forth and so on. So it'll be all ready. You don't have to do any of the work except pull it out and read the lesson, give the lesson, and do the activities. And when I'm not able to do it anymore, I think I'll pass it on to give Cherie that responsibility, because we were talking about it one day and I says, oh, sweetheart, I'm not sure if this is going to be worth the mothers, if they will really do it. And Cherie says, well, Mom, I would do it as a grandmother. So she has the interest, and when I'm not able to do it anymore, we'll give this responsibility to Cherie to take care and replenish these files. Okay. I know what else. Let's see. Every one of these files comes with a little packet of laminated items that begin with the letter that they're representing. And everything, as much as I possibly could, I've laminated things so that little fingers won't destroy them, and you can use them over and over and over again. I'm thinking of an animal that lives out in the forest. It likes to climb in the trees, and it has a bushy tail, and the tail is striped, and it has a little mask across its face. And this animal starts with a Can you guess what kind of animal this is? Did you guess a raccoon? And you will do that with each one of these little items. See the rocket, a rainbow, and a road. And each one of these files have 5 items or 6 items of things that start with that letter. And it makes the kids think, and it's a fun little activity to develop their brains. A couple more things in the R lesson. We talk about rainbows. And this is a good time to teach about colors, to see how we've made this rainbow. Builds upon one, and then upon another, and then upon another, and then upon another, till it's a full rainbow. And then you're going to get the watercolors out and teach about how blue and red make purple, and blue and yellow make green, and red and yellow make orange. This is a wonderful, fun activity for the children. But each one of these files are just chock full of activities and games and songs and music and field trips and just wonderful, fun things. And if you don't know how to sing one of the songs, just get a hold of me face to face and I'll teach you what they are. Sometimes I don't explain very well, and if you don't understand how to do something, just call me, ask me, and I will try to explain what I was trying to tell you how to do it. Do you understand it? I think it will be very valuable and very worth your time and bless your lives and the lives of your children and the lives of your family. Please know how much I love each one of you.